Donald Trump's a little baby billionaire. He's a little billionaire. You want to be rich? You're a young black man. You want to be an owner? You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be a provider? Why are you following this little baby billionaire? Kamala Harris represents real billionaires. She represents California.
That was bad. That was really bad.
Ana Kasparian laughs at the woke left and hypes up MAGA to make America great again. Now, Ana Kasparian is actually going ahead and basically exposing the woke left once again, as the woke left go ahead and present more lies as well as inconsistencies into what's actually happening in the current administration. Now, remember, Biden is in his last month of administration, or as we can say, Kamala is actually in her last month in administration and stuff. And the fact of the matter is that the woke left isn't necessarily ready to go ahead and let it go. As you all know, Trump won the presidency, and they're doing everything they can, the woke left, to go ahead and undermine Trump, as well as to go ahead and spew lies and hateful rhetoric about him. But Ana Kasparian now, she's not a fan of Trump, but at the same time, she's actually opened her mind into further thinking about this. And, and as you all know, Ana Kasparian is no longer a part of the woke left. So here we are with Ana Kasparian laughing at the woke left and hypes up MAGA. If you enjoy what's being shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, you enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, so that way you're notified of future uploads and updates.
We elected the most dangerous, criminal human being, corrupt human being that America has ever elected. And Kevin, you helped him.
Stage 5 Trump derangement syndrome.
Yes,
we're
I get it. Sure.
No
one is figuring.
Yeah, that's right. I think you guys are bad people who are bad. Yes, are bad for the country. Yes, that's right. To attack the Constitution.
Stop.
Donald Trump.
Stop.
Yeah, people.
Stop.
Yes,
no,
that's right.
This is what they do.
Because most of our people listening to this are Democrats who are miserable, who are depressed, who cut off the news, who are talking to 3 therapists a day.
When Republicans lose, we never say we have to have therapy.
You just say you didn't lost. You just say you didn't lose.
You're out of touch with the public. This election was a rejection of wokeness, and people, every state went more red except Nebraska and Washington State.
Things got super heated during the 2024 election panel discussion at the New York Times Deal Book Summit. But there were a ton of important and, in my opinion, valuable points made during this discussion, which I definitely want to talk about here. Now, when it comes to one of the panelists, Van Jones, he made a lot of great points, and we're gonna go to those videos and show you those great points in just a minute. But unfortunately, he made one disastrous point. And I just want to get that out of the way because, Van, what are you doing? Let's watch.
The other thing that we were able to do with Kamala on the doors was Donald Trump's a little baby billionaire. He's a little billionaire. You want to be rich? You're a young black man. You want to be an owner? You want to be an entrepreneur? You want to be a provider? Why are you following this little baby billionaire? Kamala Harris represents real billionaires. She represents California. She represents the biggest, hold on a second, the biggest bunch of billionaires in the world. Vote for her and donate her. And so then you begin to link into the aspirations of these young men who don't like what Donald Trump says, but they like what he's been able to do with his life.
That was bad. That was really bad. And if you guys caught it in the very beginning, he's referring to what they were messaging while canvassing for Kamala Harris.
I mean, that's definitely true, because of the fact of the matter is Van Jones is actually known for doing that kind of stuff along with the rest of the woke left. And people like Ana Kasparian are always exposing him for that. And Ana Kasparian is right. That is bad, especially whenever the woke left often present that kind of argument.
People don't love billionaires. Okay, that's not what is appealing about Donald Trump, that he's a billionaire, right? What's appealing about Donald Trump is he pretends like he fights against the corruption and the billionaires.
Yeah, that was the great irony of Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
That they're, in my opinion, oftentimes pretending to be populist while they're actually, well, Trump's not even a billionaire, but while they're spectacularly wealthy, right? But the lesson you got out of this election is, let's highlight how much billionaires love the Democratic Party. You could not have learned a more wrong lesson. Literally impossible. the very worst lesson to learn.
Absolutely, but I wanna be fair to Van Jones because throughout the entire conversation, he was actually making really great points, including what you're about to hear. So just to kind of set this up, Jones was making a point about how there is a disconnect between young voters who tend to get their information from various platforms versus older voters who usually rely on traditional legacy media outlets. And what I love about the clip you're about to watch is the pushback he gets from Alexis McGill Johnson, who is the president from Planned Parenthood. Take a look.
I asked my son, I got a teenage son, I asked him, who are the most influential people in the world today? I'm thinking to myself, he's gonna say Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Jay-Z. He says, Kai Cent, Aiden Ross, Jinxie, and Sketch. I don't know who he's talking about. I said, what platforms are you on? He goes, I'm on Twitch, Kick, and Rumble. I said, that sounds like you need to go to the hospital. What are these platforms? I'm telling you guys, the mainstream has become fringe, and the fringe has become mainstream.
As an organization that reaches millions of people every single day to have conversations around bodily autonomy, we are all on digital, right? So the idea that the Harris campaign was not on digital, that the IEs like Future Forward were not on digital and spending millions of dollars to reach those folks, to hire influencers, to bring them to the DNC, right? And have a totally different kind of outreach to.
Wait a minute. I'm going to have to do some huge pushback on that because guess what? They did bring some influencers to the DNC. These are TikTokers that they brought to the DNC, like Harry System, Jolly Red Ginger. And this goes on and on with the different TikTokers because why? These different streamers out here like Aiden Ross and even Kai Cenat refuse to go ahead and do anything political, do any messaging with Kamala and stuff. Kai Cenat refused to do it with any politician. Aiden Ross did it with Trump, as you all know. And the fact of the matter is they can't really win by getting all the good streamers out there, the big name streamers, because of the fact of the matter is some of them are either not interested in any political figure, or a lot of them or all of them are just not interested in Kamala Harris. That's the simple and point blank right there.
To young folks and people of color much differently than we have seen in the past. It doesn't mean that we need to know who Tank and Please and all the folks are, but they are out there and they are having those conversations.
Okay, I mean, look, I completely disagree with Johnson. This notion of we don't need to understand anything about the zeitgeist or where people are getting their news or information. We can spend millions of dollars to hire those online influencers to do the work for us. Yeah. How did that work out for you? I can't believe she said that, but what do you think, Jake?
Oh no, that was hilarious. That was one of the funniest things that's ever happened. So first of all, I love that moment where Van Jones, has an epiphany, but is mainly trying to force others into that epiphany. Mm-hmm. Guys, we think we're, the central point of this country, right? And everybody cares what we think, and what we say is the most important thing. But while we weren't paying attention, we became the fringe. People aren't even listening to us anymore.
And you know what's crazy? It's not the so-called fringe streamers that Van Jones alluded to that's winning. It's like different YouTubers like Ana Kasparian from Young Turks and stuff, as well as a lot of other people on YouTube that's actually beating cable news, or as I call the mainstream media, or the woke mainstream media. And the fact of the matter is Ana Kasparian is actually beating them at their game, along with Cenk Uygur, and even a lot of conservative leaning YouTubers, commentators and stuff. They're beating mainstream media at their game because the simple fact of the matter is the people out there are sick and tired of being lied to, not being given the whole truth. Basically, people are basically tired of being told or being shown that they can't think for themselves, that the mainstream media and elites know better than them and stuff. And the re-election results proved it with both the Electoral College as well as a popular vote for Trump.
They're actually listening to the guys that we think are hilarious. Like, who are these people? Like, what are they, Ren and Stimpy? Right? I mean, we still get that to this day. I've been, we were the first partner for YouTube. We're the original YouTubers. My God, back in the day, for the last 20 years, YouTube, right? Like anything will come out of YouTube. Well, what happened now? Now you guys are the tiny fringe, and I love it. I'm here for it because you guys suck.
But like
you support the rich and the powerful and the establishment that we all despise. That's why you were overturned. That's why people said, oh, I hate those guys. They're a bunch of liars. Let me go listen to some other folks. And they listened to some folks that led them astray, and they listened to some folks that made sense. But now we're in an actual marketplace of ideas and not just like the tiny guardrails that the establishment media have. Oh, you're a Republican? Do you love corporations? Good. Do you Democrat? Love corporations? Good. You don't love corporations? Get out of here, you radical, lefty, righty loser. Get him out of here, that stupid populist. Okay, so and then, but my favorite was, but we hired a whole bunch of influencers.
Oh my God, I know.
And we had those people parrot our talking points, and and we had our robotic politician go out and go, I have my talking points. I am now talking to an influencer that has my talking points as well, and this is going to be how we do online media. Yeah, good luck with that crap.
God, we hired Harry Sisson. Are you guys still complaining? What are you complaining about? By the way, I don't know if they actually hired. We don't know, but like, but we do know.
They sort of hired him because of the fact that the matter is that he was paid through a group that actually is funded by the Democrat Party. But that's here there.
Even before that admission we just heard that they were hiring influencers, and they thought that that was the digital outreach they needed to do to get young people on board. By the way, how about you actually offer policies that would be appealing to young people, get them jazzed up about showing up to vote for you. But anyway, let's move on to more of the discussion. I know we're focusing a lot on Van Jones, and there were approximately, let me do the count, 38 people on that panel. But Van Jones really did stand out to me. He did make a lot of good points. Here's another one.
We pushed all our rebels out of this party. We had a rebellion in our party in 2016. It was called Bernie Sanders. You had a rebellion in your party in 2016. It was called Donald Trump. Your rebel won. Our rebel lost. And then since then, the rebels in our party have been pushed out. RFK was a rebel inside of our party. He wanted to run against Joe Biden fair and square. The DNC wouldn't let him. Pushed him out. You can walk down the list. Don't forget, Elon Musk was a Andrew Yang Democrat 4 years ago. He's out. You can walk down the list. Joe Rogan was very favorable toward Michelle Obama. He was a Bernie guy. He's out. So there's something that's happened in this party.
So who pushed them out? The woke left. That's who pushed them out. And the fact of the matter is Van Jones isn't willing to admit that or say that it was a woke left, but he's just stating that they were pushed out. But back to the whole Sanders thing, I mean, Sanders was, but he was pushed out as well as forced to go ahead and support the establishment and stuff. When in reality, it seems to me that Bernie Sanders just might support the establishment all along.
Where the rebels in this party no longer feel like they have a place, and we've got to be able to talk about that stuff honestly.
I think he makes a really great point. And Donald Trump for the right really is a rebellious figure, especially because he took a party that was really known for its neoconservatism and clowned on it. And I think that brought in a lot of people who actually previously voted for Democrats, previously voted for Barack Obama, for instance.
Yeah.
Or in the case of 2016, I know for a fact that there were individuals who voted for Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary, saw what they did to Bernie Sanders in the 2016 Democratic primary, and decided to vote for the one other anti-establishment person, and that was Donald Trump.
Yeah, so look, a lot of people love to beat up on Van Jones, and there's a reason for that, because he's the only one that actually has different opinions. And he's the one that's closest to a populist. That's why that point about the billionaires was so ironic, right?
Totally.
But when you have different opinions, sometimes you'll miss like that one, right? And I give a lot of grace to that. Because then his other opinions were terrific, and he's the only one on that panel saying it. So a point about the outsiders is indisputable. And so the Democratic Party, will they learn that lesson? Even Anita Dunn in that discussion was like, oh, we've got to learn some lessons in responding to Van, et cetera. Like, you're not gonna learn any lessons. The lesson you're gonna learn is, hey, let's put Pete Buttigieg in a flannel shirt And that way he'll seem like more of a populist. And Gavin Newsom, instead of going to French Laundry, maybe we'll have him pretend to do his own laundry at home. And that way they'll be populist. No. You're not getting it. Handing a new script to the same actors is not change.
100%, yes, I totally agree. That's the problem, the actors, right? The elitists within the Democratic Party that have now been associated with the Democratic Party's brand. So when, we did a story earlier this week in regard to progressives in Congress and how they're trying to get the DNC to go back to its roots as a working class party. The Democrats go back to its roots as a working class party. The problem isn't just the messaging. It's the policies that are promised, the policies that are promised and are never delivered, and more importantly, the various prominent figures within the Democratic Party that are just oozing elitism and disdain for working class Americans. And when I think of someone as snakish as Gavin Newsom, I don't think, a warrior for the working class, hell no. But what do we hear from the Democratic establishment in regard to who the likely candidates will be in the primary for the next election, right? We hear about Gavin Newsom, Josh Shapiro. I know you kind of like him, I don't. It's just more of the same.
Yeah. Look, Josh Shapiro pick is in the context of Kamala Harris as an establishment person. Like, I didn't even consider that she would that it was like, I know Tim Walz was a possibility, but I was shocked that she picked him, right? So that's when you're.
I'm not. I mean, that's. We all knew that was a dumb move before, but Ana Kasparian is definitely correct. They're actually never going to have anyone in the party to actually support the working class people at all. And Ana Kasparian has actually doubled down on that a lot, because of the fact of the matter is, Ana Kasparian has finally woke up to what the woke left refused to go ahead and admit and acknowledge. So Ana Kasparian is often, competing against not only the Democratic establishment, but also the woke left, because of the fact of the matter is, it was the woke left that made Ana Kasparian to go ahead and decide to go ahead and leave the Democrat Party and become an independent. And that, she's definitely still challenging the Democrat establishment as well as the woke left. So let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also, be sure to include any additional thoughts you might have in this particular topic. If you enjoy what was shared in this video, go ahead and smash the like button, share the video far wide across social media. And if you haven't done so already, enjoyed all the content that I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notifications, so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Till then, peace.